Certainly. Here's a long and rich story about Didier Drogba and Salomon Kalou, focusing on their time together at Chelsea FC, their brotherly bond, key moments, and their legacy as Ivorian legends in football. Brothers in Blue. The story of Didier Drogba and Salomon Kalou at Chelsea. In the heart of West Africa, in Côte d'Ivoire, two boys grew up dreaming of greatness. One was a late bloomer who had to move to France as a child, learning resilience through hardship. The other was a teenage prodigy whose silky skills dazzled scouts from a young age. Their paths were different, but destiny would bring them together in London, under the blue lights of Stamford Bridge. Drogba's arrival and rise. Didier Drogba arrived at Chelsea in 2004, signed by manager José Mourinho from Olympique de Marseille. At 26, he wasn't the typical young talent, but what he lacked in youth, he made up for in power, leadership, and raw determination. Chelsea were building a team to conquer England and Europe, and Drogba quickly became the warrior at the front line. He wasn't just a striker, he was a force. Towering headers, powerful drives, and an uncanny ability to rise in big moments. Drogba helped Chelsea win their first ever Premier League title in 2005, followed by another in 2006. He became a hero to fans and a symbol of pride for millions of Africans. Enter Kalou, the little brother. In 2006, Salomon Kalou joined Chelsea from Feyenoord. Just 21 years old, Kalou was raw but talented, a winger and forward with flair, creativity, and a big smile. He arrived in a dressing room full of stars, but one man made sure he felt at home: Didier Drogba. Drogba took Kalou under his wing. On and off the pitch, their bond was like that of elder and younger brother. Drogba would joke, "He's my little brother. Even if we're not family by blood, we are by heart." Kalou learned quickly, and his style, fast, technical, unpredictable, complemented Drogba's power and experience. Together, they formed a unique attacking duo. Drogba the battering ram, Kalou the silent assassin. Moments of glory and laughter. Between 2006 and 2012, Drogba and Kalou shared 6 intense seasons at Chelsea. Together, they won 1 UEFA Champions League, 2012, 1 Premier League, 2010, 4 FA Cups, 2007, 2009, 2010, 2012, 2 League Cups, 2007, 2015, Drogba only. They had a special understanding. Drogba often pulled defenders with his strength, opening spaces for Kalou to slip in. Kalou, always alert, had a knack for scoring important goals, including in tight games and in cup runs. They also brought an African joy to Chelsea, dancing after goals, celebrating wins with music, and never forgetting where they came from. Off the pitch, they supported humanitarian causes in Ivory Coast, advocating for peace during the country's civil conflicts. The pinnacle, Munich 2012. The 2011-12 season was turbulent for Chelsea. Managers came and went, performances dipped. But as always, Drogba stepped up when it mattered. And Kalou, the quiet hero, kept delivering in the background. Their ultimate triumph came on May 19, 2012 in Munich. Chelsea faced Bayern Munich in the Champions League final at Bayern's own stadium. Underdogs. Injuries. Suspensions. It was all against them. In the 88th minute, Bayern led 1-0. Then, Drogba scored a thundering header to equalize. Extra time came. Drogba gave away a penalty, but Petrček saved it. The game went to penalties. In the shootout, Kalou scored one of Chelsea's spot kicks. Then Drogba stepped up for the final penalty.
He scored.
Chelsea were European champions. For the first time ever. Tears flowed. Drogba and Kalou embraced. 2 Ivorian boys, from the dusty pitches of Abidjan to the summit of European football. The farewell and legacy. That night in Munich was Drogba's last act at Chelsea, until his return in 2014-15. Kalou left shortly after, joining Lille. But their legacy remained. They were more than players. They were symbols. For Africans, especially Ivorians, Drogba and Kalou showed that anything was possible. That unity, humility, and belief could take you from local pitches to global glory. Drogba would later say, "Kalou is my brother. We shared the same dreams. And together, we lived them." Today, young Ivorian players, from Nicolas Pepe to Sebastian Haller, speak of Drogba and Kalou as role models. Not just for what they achieved, but how they carried themselves with pride, with class, and always together. Epilogue. Years later, when asked about their time at Chelsea, Kalou said, "I learned so much from Didier. Not just how to win, but how to lead, how to give back." That's the real victory. And perhaps that's the heart of their story. Two brothers, bonded by football, who inspired a nation and lifted a club to unforgettable heights. Please like and subscribe to our channel.